carry my weapon every day. And speaking of which, I just want to kind of backtrack. I am a Brooklynite. I'm Brooklyn bred and born. Thank you. I live in Bed-Stuy. I patrol the 8-3 precinct, which is Bushwick, which is the neighborhood right over from from Bed-Stuy. And so, as a Brooklynite, I'm not afraid of my neighbors. So I don't feel the need to constantly wear and carry my weapon. But then when there are times in the climate, when there's certain things that are happening in the community and in the news, and you're on heightened alert, then I may choose, I think because I do have the privilege, and it is a privilege to carry, and it's an unrestricted concealed carry. I am privileged. So I will carry it. And it's not just for my safety, it's for the safety of my neighbors who cannot carry. Depending on what my attire was, would sometimes dictate which weapon I carried and how I carried it. While it is not I wouldn't advise women who are not trained in firearms to carry firearms in their pocketbooks. I'm well aware of my weapon at all times, and I'm not actually afraid that somebody's going to take my weapon. Again, I would say what's happening in the news determined whether I was going to carry my Glock, because my Glock is going to carry 15 and one in the chamber. Or am I going to carry this 5-shot?
Get ready. We got one more member here down at the end of the table. We need to pass the microphone.
Oh, did he make it?
We got a pastor, Jason Hendrickson. I call him the shooting pastor. And the reason why my brother is here is because we saw what happened down in South Carolina. And now we're addressing the issues of arming members of the church. And so my brother advocates firearm safety. And I love this man because he likes to smell of gunpowder like I do. So this is my dude. So I want to introduce and welcome my brother in the spirit of the Most High, and my brother in literal meaning, all right? Brother Jason, Pastor Jason Hendrickson. Please make him feel welcome.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? Good. Typical preacher shows up late. But I did not analyze the traffic correctly. But I'm here because I honestly believe that, number one, traditionally, perpetrators, especially in the hood, seem to always think that churches are soft targets. And for whatever the case may be, that ideology is in the streets. And people think that they can just run up in a church and get away with whatever. But I am one of those pastors that if they run up in my church, they're gonna get a real special surprise. Because culturally, it's unfortunate that most of our first encounters with a firearm was due to a violent situation. And that's why even today when some people called me and I put up a flyer that I was going to be here tonight, it was like, Pastor, you a pastor, what you doing going up there? I said, see, it's misinformation that always cripples the people. We don't have the information of the events that take place in the Olympics or the scholarships that our young people can get by entering in shooting competitions. Again, because our first encounter is with a violent situation. So I think that what we have to do is change the perception of our community, and the only way that we can do that is by becoming educated and being well-versed when it comes to firearms, because I believe strongly that presentation creates perception. And I believe that, again, our first presentation with firearms in our community has always been through violent crimes. That's why a lot of people cringe at the talk of carrying a gun when it is your Second Amendment right. It is your right as a United States of America citizen to bear arms. but because of what has been endrafted into our minds over the years, we look at it as a negative thing, but I think it's a very positive thing. And I think that all pastors should be armed. I think all our security should be armed.
Go ahead, brother.
I think that all of our women should learn how to shoot. I think that all of our children should learn how to shoot. When I go up to the range, Connecticut, sometimes in Jersey, I see Caucasian kids,
Yes.
10, 11 years old, unloading and stacking, bah, 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 handling AR-15s with precision. And that's because it was introduced to them at a young age, because guns don't kill people. People kill people. So I think the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is for a good guy to have one. So, you know, from the church perspective, we praise God, we worship the Lord, and we honor him. But we also have a scripture in the book of Matthew that says, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violence taken by force. We are peaceful people until you cross the line. And if you cross the line, I think you ought to be dealt with, because our women ought to be respected. Our houses of worship should be respected. And I think that, and most of us believe, that if somebody in Charleston had a gun, it would have ended the way it ended with all those deaths. So I think it's high time that we become aware of our right to carry arms and stop the negative connotations attached to it, and let's become educated and empowered.
I have a question for you, dear Pastor. As a firearm advocate, do you advocate your children?
Absolutely. I'm teaching my daughter to shoot right now. You know, we have the dummy target set up in the basement.
Come on now.
With the BB guns. I'm teaching her how to hold the gun, because I want people to understand, especially my family, if something jumps off, and y'all forgive me, I'm from the project, so I know I'm a pastor, but I still talk a little hood. So if something pop off in my crib, you know what I'm saying? I want my daughters, because I'm the only dude in my house. I got a wife, 3 kids, 3 grandkids. So if somebody run up in my crib and they get me first, I need my wife not to go into panic mode. I need my daughter not to go into panic mode, but to put 2 in it. Put 2 right in it. And call 911 after. You dig? Because I think that's what we need to start doing. We need to start, even not just with violence, just our people, period. We need to start becoming people of action. We talk a good talk about everything. And we're strong starters but poor finishers. So after this meeting tonight, it would be a waste of time if Fitness, Fuel, and Fire did not have an overwhelming response of people that want to sign up for training. Because we do this all the time. We organize like that. We'll come to meetings like that. But what do you do after the fact? And we wait till something goes down. Then we have an understanding. Then we have a new level of compassion and passion for a situation. But we need to become less reactive and more proactive as a people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that being said, this is the whole reason for this coming together. We're opening up a conversation. Again, we got the next governor of New York State, Brother Larry Sharpe. And we love this man. I want you to support this man here. Look him up. I know how we are as a people at times, but we need somebody to go up here and do the work that Cuomo is not doing. I am telling you, the criminals are more prepared in a disaster-type situation than the hard-working members of this community. So I'm saying to you this: if there was a disaster-type situation here in New York City and you had to hunker down where you are, after 3 days, can you still stay in that same place? And what you have in your house, what's to prevent your enemies? And we're talking about when it gets 3 to 5 days and nothing's going on and no lights and no heat, your enemy becomes everybody. What can you do to protect yourself and your family where you're hunkered down at? All right? What kind of training are we taking on? When are we going to stop the excuses in our community? We have been bamboozled, and the rock has fell on you again. And when I say it like this: you've been told in New York City that you cannot own a firearm. Wrong. Why do they have the West Side Fire range? Why do they have the Park Avenue Fire range? Why do they have ranges in the Bronx if you can't own a gun in New York? Listen to me, people. I need you to reason out with me, all right? I want you to do your due diligence. We are in the 11th hour, and at what point do we become accountable for our own work? All right? Today changes everything. You can get your firearm legally in New York. You can do it. You need to take a basic firearm safety class, 8 to 5 hours. If you filed in New York prior to this and you were denied and you didn't take a basic firearm safety class, you were denied because you showed you didn't have any proficiency with weapons. Understand what I said. Fitness, Fuel, and Fire in the New Jersey Firearm Academy offers basic pistol classes. All right? This is very serious. You could get your shotgun, your long gun permit right here in New York. That's home safety. You could throw some slugs up in there. I don't recommend birdshot in a shotgun in an apartment. Slugs. But you can get it legally. And there's nothing stopping you but yourself. So I want to address this today, and I'm going to go off for a second, and I'm going to address everybody here. Everybody who came in, I gave you an application. You should have one. I gave everyone here, and if you didn't, there should be some available. We've run out, so I'm sorry, because y'all were late. But this is, yes, give him the mic right here. Yes.
Yeah, right on what Ashante was saying. You know, they make the process in New York difficult to discourage people from going through that process. Do not let the government discourage you out of exercising rights of yours. It is a process. We'll help you get through the paperwork, and it's a lot of paper. It's $340 that, you know, but when you get it, you got it. Okay, and you know, we're here for your support with how not to lose it and to go through that process. But don't let them discourage you out of exercising your rights.
That's right. You got to say something, Brother Larry, on that?
No, I think that the most important piece here is it is our right, and even though it's hard, if more of us actually say we want it, if more of us actually do it, it will force politicians to act. A lot of politicians actually think this is wrong, but they're afraid. They're afraid that the second they give in and something bad happens, the press is going to crucify them and they're going to lose their seat.
Yes.
And that's what they care about. No matter what politics you might believe in, every single politician cares about one thing: their own personal power. They all care about that, no matter what, whether left, right, whatever you might be, doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
If enough people say, no, I want this, they will turn.
Us.
So we need to do this,
Yes.
so they will turn.
Yes. I think we're going to do another forum. We're going to plan another one. We want a bigger turnout. Okay, and I got one more thing to say. We're going to go over your application before you go. We're going to explain this to you. All right? We're going to explain the application process. Doug Sifu, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, the presenter, Ashante, if I'm not mistaken, you live in Connecticut, right?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, so for you guys that live in New York and you want to take his gun safety course, we're going to be offering those in my school. All right? My school is 188 East 3rd Street, between Avenues A and B. And while you are practicing all of the other martial arts, I love them all, man, I really do. But while you are practicing the intricacies of other martial arts, and I don't want to discourage you from doing that, because it will change you as a person. But in the meantime, you should arm yourself with some stick fighting, just in case.
We're going to give it to Doug. Don, do you want to add on to your firearm safety and why you advocate firearm safety in the community for children?
Very important, firearm safety for children. In fact, just like Sifu, our place is in the Bronx, Castle Hill Avenue, and we welcome classes to go on there too for both adults and children.
Yes.
And Ashante and Crystal welcome to come there and bring people in and train.